tell me about the contents of this course. What is it like if I'm coming on this course and signing up for it? What's it going to be like for me as I walk into that room? Because it sounds a bit daunting.
It is going to be different, so I always prepare people for that in the introduction, and actually the brief from Westminster was to make it different. The reason why they engaged with VI is because we look at influencing not just from a technique perspective, but also from a mindset perspective, but also from a personal impact perspective, because of course we have a whole message. So when we're looking to influence or communicate a message or persuade people, we actually have more resources available than just words. So we look at the whole of the person and the whole of the message. But in terms of people that may be a bit daunted about coming along, we don't do any role plays. So they're always pleased to hear that. In fact, the key message is just be you. You don't need to be anybody else. The exercises that we do are in pairs. They will be asked to come along with a potential influencing situation that they have coming up. It might be a one-to-one meeting with a colleague, it might be a presentation. So they're asked to come with that, and then we take them through every exercise around that one situation they have. So it's real and it's meaningful for them, but also they get a chance to practice and experience using the techniques, because I don't know about you, I often find that training can be a waste of money, because it's a great session but then the manual is left on a shelf somewhere. These sessions are about making it practical and experiential so that the change is lasting, so that they actually do something with it when they leave. When we look at negotiating, we look at our own preferred style. We all have a preferred style of negotiating. So the first key step is to find out, well, what's your preferred style? And actually, are there some other styles that might be useful for you to adopt, depending on what the situation is? Because of course it can be context dependent, so you always need to plan and tailor your approach. So I'll share with you a model now, if you don't mind me just getting up here. What is your preferred negotiating style? When we look at this exercise, we look at each style of negotiating based on two components. The first one is assertiveness, and the second one is cooperativeness. So assertiveness is the extent to which you go for what you want. You just go to win. It's all about you and your outcome. Cooperativeness is to the extent to which you help others get what they want and get what their outcome is. And each of these 5 styles of negotiating is made up of how assertive they are and how cooperative they are. And I've only shared 2 with you here because I didn't want to give you everything now. I want you to come on the workshop. So I'll share with you the two key styles here, which I find are most common. And the first one is to avoid. So someone that avoids a lot won't even get into negotiation. They'll be avoiding emails. They will change the conversation. They don't want to deal with it head on. And of course we have the absolute opposite here, which is compete. I go for what I want, it's all about me, I want to win. So that gives you an idea of how we would increase someone's awareness in terms of what their own style is. Then we get into some practical exercises. I set them some case studies with context around some of the changes in the council. And we look at some negotiation case studies using these different styles. So they get an experience of doing something out of their normal way of doing it. And I think that's the key here. It's about behavioural flexibility. When you look at influencing or negotiating, you need to have choice. You need to have some different approaches in terms of how you handle things. Because if you, of course, the famous quote, do what you've always done, then you'll get what you've always got.
So I'm really getting the sense of somebody coming in with a real situation, a real scenario to work through, and these exercises, they're going to work through that through the workshop and come out with a solution at the end of that.
Yes.
And some real tips and tools on how to then negotiate their way through that.
They will, and they'll also get feedback from the other people on the workshop. And I have to say that I think it's a key benefit that we have people coming from all different parts of the council, because we're all sharing different perspectives. So we will actually give each person some feedback on how that negotiating strategy, how we've heard it, how we've experienced it, and so that they can, you know what their strengths are when they leave, but also perhaps what to be aware of as well.